Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Sonic Music Releases, the series where I talk about officially released Sonic music from over the years. And today we're talking about the music from Sonic Unleashed. Now, when it got to this point of Sonic's history, it was fairly common for games to just have one soundtrack. You know, we think about Sonic Adventure and Adventure 2, they had both a vocal and a complete soundtrack. And the last game to really do that in recent years was Black Knight, which came after Unleashed, but it was pretty typical at this point to just have one standard release. And of course, that release for Sonic Unleashed was Planetary Pieces, Sonic World Adventure original soundtrack. Of course, World Adventure is the Japanese name for Sonic Unleashed, so that's why it is called that. I think it's actually a cooler title anyway. So some info on this before we look at it. This was released January 28th, 2009 in Japan, and it's all the music from Sonic Unleashed. It was published by Wavemaster Entertainment and distributed by Avex Marketing, pretty typical around this time. And it retailed for 4,200 Japanese yen, or roughly $38, $39 by today's standards. And it is honestly one of Sonic's biggest soundtracks he's ever had. Both in the scope of just the overall music and the size, the sheer size of it. This is one of the few 3-disc soundtracks that Sonic has had. So let's take a look. This is how it looked in the packaging, sealed and whatnot, with the obi on the side. Let's take a look at just the obi itself. It's red and it's got, I don't think there's not really any promotion on here. It's just, says 3 CDs, has the catalog number. Sonic World Adventure, the logo, and the name of the soundtrack. Pretty typical stuff. The soundtrack itself is gorgeous. It's so nice looking. It has a slipcase, so let's just talk about the exterior first. Really, really cool image of outer space, and there's actually a very faint, if you can pick it up on the camera, it's really hard to see. There's like a very faint Sonic right there. You can kind of see his eye, kind of like that. It's really hard to pick up, but you notice it when it's in hand. Even in hand, it's a little hard to see. The letters for Planetary Pieces are all shiny and they look really cool. It looks kind of like ransom notey because it's they're all like different fonts. It looks like when you cut out a bunch of letters out of a magazine or something. But it has a really cool look to it. I mean, I like it a lot. Standard text down here, and then this really cool shot of the Earth, and then of course stars everywhere. And actually, if you look right here, it can be hard to make out, but that is a star in the shape of Chip. Yeah, it's it might not look like it at first, but it definitely is. And there's a similar Easter egg on the bottom of the slipcase. There's a there's a silhouette of Professor Pickle down there by the legal info, which is pretty funny. On the spine, that's how the spine looks of the slipcase, and then the actual spine of the soundtrack inside. So, well, the back of I didn't talk about the back, it just has the track list. Nothing too fancy. There's a lot of fucking music on this, though, so there's quite a lot. So, taking it out, we have the spine, Planetary Pieces, Sonic World Adventure, soundtrack, and then if you open it like that, you can see it has both Sonic and Werehog Sonic on either side, and they actually open even further because it has 3 discs, so like that. It's really hard to get this all on camera and also hold it at the same time, but yeah. So on the other side, night and day. On the night side, we have the World Adventure logo. On the day side, it's just kind of a bunch of the assets from a lot of the levels in the game kind of mishmashed together. Opening it up, there it is. I'm going to have to kind of drag this by the camera because this is so hard to hold and get an entire shot of. So there's disc 1, disc 2, disc 3, and the track list. And is there anything in here? I feel like there is. Yes. Oh, there it is. It's a booklet. I haven't actually looked at this booklet in a long time, so I can't even remember what it looks like. Oh, so it's the Endless Possibility lyrics, both in English and Japanese. and then production notes of, you know, all the songs, and each page has a different expression for Chip. There he's like tough, and then he's like cheeky here or something, and then right there he's happy. It's pretty funny. Pretty standard. Some cool art of Sonic there. And then Dear My Friend lyrics and some staff notes. And then on this one, you can actually see there's a print of the Werehog. This is much easier to tell now. Oh, here you go. You can actually tell that Sonic's on this a little easier now, too. So is the Werehog on the back? I can't actually tell. Oh, yeah, he is. It's very faint, but he is on the back there. So here's disc 1. It's got this really cool blue art of Sonic on it with a big number 1 for disc 1. And there's continued Easter eggs throughout, because you can see right there. It's really tiny, but there's a this Sonic art right here. There is a star in the shape of it, flipped horizontally. Right there. And then there's even one for the Werehog too. There's this art right here, big number 2, and then there is a star in the shape of that art. And then for disc 3, I would assume it's just Chip again. Let's see here. It's really hard to hold it like this. Yeah, there's a star of Chip and Professor Pickle. Look at that. And then, of course, the disc design for disc 3. Red art of Chip with a big number 3. So, overall, this is one of the most beautiful Sonic soundtracks out there. In terms of just the music itself, it's so... I think I put it at my number 2 on my top 10 Sonic soundtracks. It's really, really amazing, and it's so nice to listen to. Although, unlike Adventure 2 soundtrack, I don't think I could just sit down and listen to the entire thing. That's not to say it's not good, though. It's just it's really big. It's 3 discs long, and there's a total of, let's see here. There's a total of 91 tracks on here, so that is quite a lengthy listen if you were to sit down and just listen to the entire thing. In terms of what this thing is worth, I'd say anywhere from $40 to $65. You might see listings asking for more, if I could get that centered. There we go. You might see listings asking for more, but that's generally what I'd say it's worth. I actually overpaid for mine because there weren't a lot of cheap listings at the time, but since then they've been popping up more lately and they're a little easier to find now. However, there is a bootleg. I think it is sold without a slipcase. I could be so you might see listings on eBay that just use this as the picture. If you see a listing like this, don't go for it. It's kind of fishy if they have it without the slipcase, and you wouldn't really want this without the slipcase anyway. But yeah, I mean, I could be wrong. The bootleg could have a slipcase, I'm not sure. But yeah, just be careful out there, and you know, happy hunting if you're going for this thing. I know it's still pretty available. You can get it for cheap on, I think, Solaris Japan. I think they have it. I forgot to mention that the Sonic Team logo is up there, but that's not really much of a surprise to anyone. All right, well, that pretty much does it for this episode. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.